Have you ever pondered if time travel could be a reality, or is it just an illusion weaved into the fabric of science fiction? This question has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and dreamers alike for centuries. Since time immemorial, mankind has been fascinated with the idea of manipulating time, of breaking free from its unyielding march forward to revisit the past or leap into the future. A concept so deeply entrenched in our collective consciousness that it has become a staple in our myths, our religions, and our stories. Let's begin by understanding what time travel actually entails. It is the hypothetical concept of moving between different points in time, just as we move between different points in space. Now, this can take two forms. The first is that has captured our imagination, spawning countless tales and theories. The second is journeying into the future, a concept that, while less romanticized, is actually a scientifically observed phenomenon, albeit on a microscopic scale. However, each form of time travel comes with its own set of paradoxes and challenges. Traveling into the past, for instance, brings us face to face with the age-old conundrum of causality. If you were to go back and change an event, what happens to the timeline that led you to travel back in the first place? It's a question that has sparked endless debates amongst scientists and philosophers alike. On the other hand, journeying into the future, while theoretically possible within the framework of special relativity and general relativity, is still beyond our current technological capabilities. And even if we could advance or delay our timeline by more than a few milliseconds compared to another, the practical implications and ethical dilemmas are enormous. Time travel, thus, remains a tantalizing concept, an enigma that straddles the boundary between science and fiction. It's a testament to our innate curiosity, our relentless pursuit of knowledge, and our insatiable desire to transcend the limitations imposed upon us by nature. As we delve into the depths of time travel, it's fascinating to see how this concept has evolved over the years. Did you know that the concept of time travel has its roots in ancient mythology? The idea of venturing beyond the present moment isn't a novel concept, rather it's deeply entrenched in our ancient past. Let's take a trip back in time to explore how these narratives unfolded. In the vivid tapestry of Hindu mythology, we find the story of King Revata Kakudmi. The king, seeking a suitable husband for his daughter, journeyed to heaven to consult with the creator Brahma. When he returned, he was astounded to find that many ages had passed on Earth. Buddhist scriptures also touch upon the relativity of time. In the Pali Canon, one of Buddha's chief disciples, Kumara Kassapa, narrated to the skeptic Payasi that time in the heavens and on Earth doesn't flow in the same way. This was a profound concept that was way ahead of its time. Meanwhile, in the Japanese tale of Urashima Taro, a young fisherman named Urashima no Ko visits an undersea palace, spending what he believes to be 3 days there. Upon his return to his village, he finds himself 300 years in the future, a stranger in a world where everything he knew was lost to the ravages of time. And then there's Honi HaMegal, a scholar from Jewish tradition. Legend has it that Honi fell into a deep sleep that lasted for 70 years. When he woke up, he found himself in a world where no one knew him, and his claims of identity were met with disbelief. These stories, each unique and fascinating, share a common thread. They depict characters who, intentionally or not, journeyed through time, only to find themselves in a world much different from the one they left behind. These narratives challenge our perception of time as a linear, unidirectional flow, introducing the idea that time can be traversed, just like space. These myths, as intriguing as they are, laid the groundwork for the time travel narratives we see today. The narratives of time travel are not just confined to ancient myths. They find a place in Abrahamic religions as well. In the Islamic tradition, for instance, the Quran tells the story of the 7 sleepers. These were a group of monotheistic young men who, when seeking refuge from persecution, found themselves in a cave. As they slept, they were preserved by Allah for what we would consider centuries. Upon their awakening, they discovered a world that was drastically different from the one they had known. This narrative, found in the Quranic Surah Al-Kahf, echoes themes of divine protection and the suspension of time. This tale of the 7 sleepers is also shared with Christianity. In the Christian version, the young men were seeking to escape from the oppressive Roman Empire, which was polytheistic at the time. Yet another story from Islam presents an intriguing example of time travel. This is the story of Uzair, who is often identified with the biblical figure of Ezra. Uzziah beheld the devastating Babylonian destruction of Jerusalem and was consumed with grief. It is said that God took his soul, preserving him until the city's reconstruction. Upon his return to Jerusalem, Uzziah discovered that he was a stranger in his own town. The people he once knew did not recognize him, save for an elderly maid who, though once blind, regained her sight through his prayers. And in an unexpected twist, Uzziah encountered his own son who, though having aged beyond him, recognized his father. These narratives from Abrahamic religions, deeply rooted in stories of divine intervention and the bending of time, add another layer to the concept of time travel. They reinforce the idea that time is not necessarily linear, but can be manipulated or suspended. These stories, deeply ingrained in religious texts, continue to fuel the fascination around time travel. As we move from the age of mythology and religion, the concept of time travel found a new home: science fiction. In the labyrinth of human imagination, the concept of time travel started to evolve and adapt, gravitating towards the realm of science fiction. It was here that the notion of time travel was given a fresh coat of paint, transforming from a mystical journey into a scientific possibility. Science fiction, with its unique blend of scientific principles and imaginative storytelling, provided the perfect platform for time travel to flourish. The genre's inherent ability to challenge the boundaries of reality made it a fitting home for such an intriguing and complex concept. One of the most influential figures in this shift was British author H.G. Wells. In 1895, Wells penned a novel that would forever change the way we perceive time travel. His book, aptly titled The Time Machine, introduced the world to a time-traveling device, a concept that was both revolutionary and captivating. Wells's time machine was a vehicle that could carry its occupant to any point in time, a concept that ignited the imagination of readers around the world. The time machine not only popularized the idea of a physical device for time travel, but also explored the consequences of meddling with the natural flow of time. This novel served as a catalyst, inspiring countless other works of fiction to explore and expand upon the concept of time travel. In the years that followed, science fiction became a playground for time travel narratives. From movies to books, TV shows to comic strips, time travel became a staple, a narrative device that allowed creators to weave complex and engaging stories. The concept was no longer confined to the realms of philosophy and abstract thought. Instead, it had become a tangible, albeit fictional, reality. Today, the concept of time travel is as popular as ever, thanks in large part to the genre of science fiction. It continues to challenge our understanding of reality, pushing us to imagine a world where the barriers of time can be bent and broken. Science fiction, with its boundless imagination, has truly taken the concept of time travel to new heights. So, is there any science behind the fiction of time travel? Well, let's dive right into it. Albert Einstein's theory of special relativity, developed in the early 20th century, introduced us to the concept of time dilation. This mind-bending idea suggests that time passes differently for objects moving at different speeds. An object moving at near light speed would experience time at a slower pace compared to an object at rest. Hence, forward time travel, in a sense, is a well-understood and observed phenomenon in physics. Now let's take a giant leap from special relativity to its big brother, general relativity. This theory throws gravity into the mix, suggesting that massive objects warp space-time around them. This warping effect means that clocks closer to a gravitational source, like a planet, would tick slower than clocks further away. Amazing, isn't it? But what about traveling back in time? Well, general relativity does allow for some wiggle room. One solution suggests that rotating black holes, also known as Kerr black holes, could possibly create bridges in space-time, allowing for backward time travel. However, this is purely theoretical, and the reality of such a phenomenon is still hotly debated in the scientific community. Despite these fascinating theories, practical time travel presents a host of challenges. Current technology can't propel us anywhere near light speed, nor can we safely venture into a black hole to test these theories. Additionally, the concept of time travel raises complex questions about causality and the nature of reality itself. Moreover, the idea of traveling to an arbitrary point in space and time has limited support in theoretical physics. Such concepts are usually connected with quantum mechanics or wormholes, which are yet to be fully understood or observed. While time travel remains a hot topic for debate among scientists, it continues to captivate our imaginations and fuel our curiosity.